is going on, my YouTubians? I know it's been a minute since I've been on here. I ain't uploaded for, I don't even know how long now. It's been ages. Probably about 6 months. I was in the middle of, whilst it was raining and bad weather, turning my garage into a bit of a metal fabrication shop. So this old girl got used as a storage van. I've just spent all day clearing it out, getting everything reorganised back into another shed that I bought. And I've cut my first panel for the roof to put the ceiling up using some 6mm ply. Cut the hole for the max fan and 4 holes for the lights surrounding it. So now I'm going to fit that. I didn't bother recording myself doing all that because obviously it's just me cutting some holes. I'm pretty sure you've seen enough of that. But it's time to get this project back on the road. Just got to run a few 240 plugs, or 2 really. I've got my kitchen, which I'll show you in a little while. So I'm just going to get this put up, fit some lighting into it, and then start to do the walls and any little snaggy bits that I need to do, because we are aiming to get out in this in a month and 20 days. Even if it ain't a finished project, we're getting out in this van. We've already booked some stuff for Lake District and Wales, so we want to get it all done. We probably ain't gonna have the shower functioning and the boba heater. I think that was the last thing you see me doing, but mate, that is a drive you crackers, that thing. There's so many little parts that I've got to get. I need to get a little pump, like a sure flow pump, and expansion tank before I can actually make that work. It's literally going to be a bedroom on wheels, isn't it? So as long as we've got a cooker, a sink, a fridge and a bed, we're all good. And a TV to keep them kids quiet of an evening. But yeah, let's get to fitting this up, see how bad my my measurements were. I think they're pretty bang on, but we shall see. Your purpose has been served. Get up here. Snug. That's pretty sweet. Let's check out my shroud, see if it fits. Might have to do a little bit of modification where the wire goes. I might not. Nope. She is in, mate. Snug as a bug in a rug. Let's test the fan, make sure it all still works. Don't even need someone to help me. That was a mission. So this is my kitchen unit that I got. It was second hand of someone that I work with. But that is perfect for what we need. Just got to get myself a little fridge, my water bottles, and my little holder for the gas bottle. It's already got a switch on it for the pump, and then we've got a little extendable table here that comes off and attaches on the side, on the front should I say here. So it comes out as an extension for the kitchen worktop. That'll do us. Time to get this second half of the roof up. So I've run the 240 cable. That is in place now. Because I'm a do-it-yourself kind of guy. I ain't got no help here. So I've just cut a couple of beams down to try and hold the ceiling up while I put it in place. Because with that end I had something to lip it into, this end I ain't. Let's see if my little plan works. Wondering why are you putting so many screws in it? Because I'm wallpapering over it. My original plan was just to paint it, but I've since seen the wall panelling paper, so it's going to look like it's got wall panelling on the roof. Look a bit neater, I think. Yeah, mate. Just got to get the multi-tool out, because apparently this little bulky bit here sticks out more than that side. Either that or my cut was wonky. I'm gonna blame Ford's manufacturing and say that bulky bit there sticks out more on one side, unless this has had like a rear end in the past or something. It looks sweet. Sitting there. Got a leather nut stuck between this beam and the board. It's lucky I clocked it then because I was about to go through the ceiling. That's it. She's free. I know I've made this a tight fit, but how good a fit is it? Oh, oh, oh. Oh, look at that. She's snug. That is sweet. Now I just got to figure out where I want all my holes, because this is where my control panel is going to be for the inverter, diesel heater, Bluetooth module. And I'm sure I've got something else I've got to put on there. And then what I'm going to do with this top bit, because obviously there's a little 50mm gap along here, I'm going to get some like coving in the areas where there ain't cabinets. So above this unit there's going to be a cabinet, so you ain't going to see that bit anyway. So it will give me access to any sort of wires or anything. If anything breaks, be a bit easier to pull things through, feed things through, whatever. And from where the shower ends to that unit, there's going to be a cabinet. The only bit I'm going to need coving for is from here, where this cabinet ends, above the kitchen. So from there along to the edge, and the beds, that corner and that corner. So I'm just going to get like some 75mm coving, so it overlaps by 25mm over the ceiling and the wall. And that should be spotters. So I've got some funky shape to cut around this bit here. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Start cutting just yet. Make sure we fit widthwise, which we do. And on this end bit here, So we've got this little gap. I'm going to put a little bit of trim, like a joiner piece, and just cut one of the sides off. That'll be alright. Then I'm obviously going to have the window cut out here in this area, and I've got this bulky bit here that I've got to measure up now. So I'm going to put some little marks on the wood where that is, and then measure the length of it. And as for the curve, pretty much spot on. She's a flush fit. I will leave a tiny little millimetre gap, and then I'll just wood filler that probably. And then when I get my windows, I'll cut that all out with a router, and then I'll build the, so I know it's 1120 by 550. That's the size of the hole I want, so that don't intervene with the shower, because I want it to stop about here, just shy of the shower. Obviously you can see the joint is just at the edge of the shower as well, so I might have to shorten the shower a little bit and bring it in this way anyway, because I didn't account for this. So where that is, if I was to actually build the shower out how I was originally going to have it, the shower will come to like there over the front of the shroud. So I'm going to have to bring it back 20 mil anyway. She's coming together now. You're big meathead, aren't you? Hey? You are a big meathead. That doesn't mean jump on my lap though. You're like a land seal. We're just gonna flop right over. Yeah, belly rubs. You're a good boy. Yeah. Hey, you're a good boy. You looking forward to getting out in the van? Hey? You're gonna take up more room than you did when you was a pup though, ain't you? What do you reckon? Give me that. Give me that rope. So we're finally up to this point now. This weren't my first attempt. There's been a few prototypes, but this one is probably the closest I've got so far to following the curve of the roof. Still got to make a few little adjustments to it just to infill some, got 2 or 3 mil gap here, 10 mil gap here. So I'm going to do that with masking tape, add a bit of cardboard onto it, and then she's snug, she's tight, she's fitted. Still got to sand the edges down and stuff. Where I've come past the actual cab, because you've got a curve on the cab as well, I'm just going to get a pencil and just run a line along here so I can get the perfect flush fit there. I'm going to offset the door to this side because we're going to have a cabinet coming up to here and butting up. And as I said, with this little tiny gap that I've got going down the side here, I'm just going to get some 2-way trim and put it in, and then I'll cut that to the actual shape and see how well that fits. Got to do this bit now behind the kitchen, which is also going to be a bit of a mission because of the way the transit is built. it's got this bulky bit here, and obviously I want the kitchen to sail past to maximise room. So I'm gonna have to make like a sort of wedge in this bit here, bring it up to about this blue line, and then I'm gonna have like a windowsill in that little area, so that little cubby hole. That mission can wait. I got sidetracked on the bed, so I'm gonna be doing these recesses for the bed now. So I've just put a couple more bits of bracing in here. Let me get this popped up and then we'll move on to that. One bump out box complete. I'm going to stick a couple of these little touch lights up underneath, under here. That'll be pretty sweet. That's 80mm at the deepest and 70mm at the back. So extra 160mm. That is plenty enough for me to stretch my toes right out. Onto this one, let's go. Homemade Cinnabuns. Bosh! Sorted. Well, that's one side done. I may have had to go and purchase a router. What a godsend that little thing is. Unbelievable. Can't believe I've never owned one of them. Give me a perfect flush fit. And all I've got to do now is trim the edges. So I'm going to put like a angle bit of beading on it, so that goes just inside the lip as well. And then I might even PVC top these sides, and then I've got some sticky back like brick effect tiles I'm going to put on the back. But that looks sweet. May have got a little bit crazy with the router there. That's the corner I first started on. I didn't know the depth sense or anything like that, but obviously that's going to be covered with trim anyway. So all I've got to do now is put the brackets back on for the bed. I like to drill these funky holes in it as well, which I'm going to fill, which is the screws I've got for the supports. Yeah, I've got to put the brackets back on for the top bunk, and then onto this one. Obviously I've already done the bump out bit. I've now just got to make the face for it. Lino the floor, wallpaper the ceiling, tackle that bit. I ain't looking forward to that bit. That bit seems more headache than this bit. Cabinets, shower, panel this door up, panel the back doors up, put some coving up, and then and then I've got to do this cupboard hole as well. I've still got quite a lot to do, but we are getting a lot closer now to the finished product, which I am buzzing about. At the same time, I'm a bit gutted about, because it's kept me sane for the last year. Might end up getting a bigger van, different van, and doing it different. But now I've got the basic knowledge of how to do it. I'm pretty sure next time around it'll be a lot easier. Second one complete. Don't look too shabby if I say so myself. Let's have a look from the outside. Sweet as a nut, bruv. Right, I'm going to wrap that episode up there. Next episode, I'll be doing lino on the floor, wallpaper on the ceiling, and the carpeting around any reveals that I've got showing. So these bulky bits here that run down the side, over the back doors, this side door, and then I can start actually building out the kitchen wall, because there's a couple of little areas there that I've got a carpet, and if I start making all these cuts and stuff, I want it to be a snug fit. So I'm gonna have to carpet it first so I can get the actual measurements bang on. Otherwise it's gonna be too tight and it's gonna be a lot of fiddling about trying to get it in there. So yeah, that's the plan for the next one. I've still got to try and figure out what I'm going to do with these gaps that run down the length of the ceiling. I'll have to have a brainstorm over the next couple of days while I'm carpeting away and try and figure out a solution for it. Pretty sure I'll figure one out, but as you know, with van builds, nothing's ever straight or simple, so we'll tackle that task when we get to it. my main priority is to get this van functional with beds in it, so we can actually go out, enjoy it, and then any little bit of tinkering I've got to do, if I've got to take panels back off and cut certain bits out or whatever, I can do that at a later date. Anyway, that's the end of that one. I'll see you in the next one. Bosh!